Fortuna Niawo, averaging 13 points per game to lead the way for Troy. Also starting at forward is 6'2" senior from Detroit, Michigan, native of, again, Detroit from Wabash Valley. She transferred into Troy. Shalana Wagner. Wagner averaging 10.5 points per contest. And then rounding out the starting lineup at forward, a 6'3" senior from Virginia Beach, Virginia, Mo Jackson. Jackson averaging 7.5 points per game for the Troy Trojans. They are led by head coach Shonda Rigby, now in her 13th season as the head coach of Troy. 231 wins compared to 145 losses during her tenure down on the Wiregrass. Now look at the starting lineup for the head coach of the Crimson Tide, Christy Curry, who's in her 12th year at the Capstone. Starting for the Crimson Tide at guard, a 6-foot grad student from Birmingham, Sarah Ashley Barker. Last time out had 19 points for the Crimson Tide in the road victory at Alabama A&M. She has also been leading this team by averaging 21 points per game. Also starting for the Tide at point guard, a 6'2" grad student from Duncanville, Texas, the transfer from Arkansas Pine Bluff, Zay Green. Green so far this season averaging 13 points and 5.5 rebounds per game. At forward, a 6'4" sophomore from Valdosta, Georgia, Essence Cody. Cody averaging 7.5 points, 7 rebounds per contest for the Crimson Tide. At guard, a 5'11" junior from Loretto, Tennessee, Carly Weathers. Weathers back in the starting lineup for a third straight game. In her junior season, so far this year, averaging 7 points, 1.5 rebounds per game. She also has 6 steals, tied for the team lead for the Crimson Tide this season. Then rounding out the starting lineup at guard, a 6-foot grad student from Huntsville, Alabama, Aaliyah Nye, the Illinois transfer, has been excellent so far from beyond the arc, knocking down a team-high 11 three-pointers. She's averaging 18.5 points per game, 1.5 rebounds per contest for Aaliyah Nye. Alabama is led by head coach Christy Curry, as I mentioned, her 12th year at the Capstone. Today trying to get win number 200 in her Alabama career. 199 wins, 153 losses during her time here at Alabama, but overall over 500 wins in her 26 seasons as a collegiate head coach, 507 wins compared to 302 losses. While we have a moment, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network. And welcome back, everyone, to Coleman Coliseum on this Sunday as we get ready for Alabama women's basketball against the Troy Trojans. This is Roger Hoover, glad to welcome you courtside at Coleman. Our game being produced by Jared Kelly back at our Learfield studios, and alongside Ethan Carabin, he is producing our NASCAR courtside cam. We're glad to have the courtside cam up and running for Alabama women's basketball on this Sunday afternoon. So hello to everybody watching on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, anywhere you want to go, you will find us at UA_CTSN. So if you're out and about today, keep up with the game with the NASCAR courtside cam, and best of luck to our friends at NASCAR as they wrap up their playoff season today in Phoenix. Final starters being introduced for the Crimson Tide, getting ready for this matchup against the Troy Trojans. An in-state matchup. This is the 20th meeting between the schools. Alabama leads 17-2 the overall series. First meeting was back in 1974. The last time these teams met, it was the first round of the women's NIT back in 2022. A game that went down to the wire. 82-79 was the final score. A game that propelled Alabama to a tremendous run that year in the women's NIT, and that run helped propel the Crimson Tide back to the NCAA tournament the next year. Crimson Tide wrapping up their huddle on this Sunday, Bama Salute Day, so the coaching staff wearing some Army green mixed in with the crimson. Alabama will be wearing the home white uniforms with crimson numerals on the front and back. Alabama across the front in crimson. Meanwhile, for the Troy Trojans, wearing black jerseys with white numerals and cardinal trim for all of the Trojans. Our officials for today, Palani Spurlock as well as Kristen Bell and Ryan Durham. 3 officials for this game between Alabama and Troy. Good to see some members of Crimson Chaos in the building. Hearing the call from Coach Curry on Monday, she really encouraged Alabama fans, students who were there for the Monday doubleheader with the men's game following to show up on Sunday and support this women's basketball team. Solid crowd on hand as we get ready to begin this contest. Alabama against Troy on this Sunday afternoon. Essence Cody will be in the circle for the Crimson Tide, ready for the opening tip-off. going right up against Zay Dyer of the Troy Trojans. Ready for the opening tap, and it is controlled by the Crimson Tide, and we're underway in this game. Alabama playing on the left goal. Barker, top of the key, three-pointer up, in and out, no good, and the rebound by Troy, pulled away by Mo Jackson in the paint. Basketball will go to the Troy Trojans for the first time today. Stitch Guyon, late addition to the starting lineup, working the basketball to Brianna Peguero on the left wing. She dribbles with the right hand to the top of the key. Faced by Cody on defense. Cody pulled a long way from the post. Switched onto her by Barker. 9 on the shot clock. Troy will go in the paint. Driving at the basketball, Dyer, right side, and a right side layup is good to give Troy the initial 2-0 lead against Alabama. 40 seconds into this contest. Basketball going back to the Crimson Tide with Sarah Ashley Barker on the left wing. Feeding Zay Green, left side lane. The ball poked away, loose on the floor, going over the right sideline. And the ball last touched by Troy, so it will be Crimson Tide basketball. 9:11 left to go in this first quarter. 2-0, the Trojans lead the Crimson Tide here in Tuscaloosa. Barker set for the inbounds pass on the right sideline. On a bounce in between the rings to Zay Green. Green back to Barker. Left side of the lane. Barker to the left baseline, to the left block. Tiptoes in the paint, spins around, left hand layup, up, banked in. Sarah Ashley Barker used the square to get Alabama's first two, and it's an even score at 2, 1 minute into this game. Basketball back with the Troy Trojans. With Guyon a quick handoff to Dyer on the left wing. Now Dyer at the top of the key to Jackson. Jackson guarded closely by Cody. Starts to drive down the right side lane. Her shot blocked away by Cody. Out of bounds with the basketball over the baseline, but it will still be Troy ball. But Essence Cody getting her hands on the basketball for the first time for the Crimson Tide. Troy trying to work in the inbounds pass. Guyon on the left wing, just able to get it in to Ashley Baez. Baez driving against Weathers left side, leaves the layup short on the rim, and the basketball going back to the Crimson Tide. Quickly down the floor to Green, driving left side layup, good, and one, Zay Green. Crimson Tide with Zay Green putting Alabama in front 4-2 with 8:32 remaining in this first quarter. And the foul will go against Stitch Guyon. That'll be her first foul and send the Crimson Tide to the free throw line. Here is Green to the line for the Crimson Tide. 4-2 Alabama leading. And one is good. 5-2 in favor of the Crimson Tide. Now some full court pressure following the made free throw. Quickly down the floor, the Trojans with Guyon. Inside the arc, left mid-range jumper is good. Guyon found her spot, knocked it down to make it a 5-4 game. Crimson Tide leading by a point, 8:20 remaining in the first quarter. Top of the key, Barker, couple steps to the left side. Now dances inside the arc. Flashes it in the right corner to Weathers. Weathers started to drive in and stepped on the baseline, or on the right sideline with her left foot. So that turnover will give the basketball back to the Troy Trojans. 8:11 remaining in the first quarter, 5-4 Alabama leading. Game 3 of the year, Alabama looking to improve to 3-0. Troy trying to find its first win of the year after road losses to Buffalo and Montana State. Trojans in the backcourt with Peguero, dribbling over Script A and Crimson at mid-floor on the state outline. Guarded closely by Zay Green. Peguero at the top of the key. Trying to go to the right side, but tough defense there. Cody was able to find Jackson, but she traveled to the basketball just over the free throw line. Mo Jackson with the turnover gives the ball back to Alabama. Crimson Tide with a 1-point lead 2 minutes into this game from Tuscaloosa. Green to Cody, out to Barker on the left wing. Barker looks low, instead works it high to Cody. Essence Cody left alone. She can shoot three-pointers. She quickly hands back to Barker. Driving down the right side lane. Forces it up too strong. Got her own rebound. Put that back up. No good. Jackson the rebound on the Crimson paint. And the Trojans come away with the basketball. Guyon over the timeline. Amazing. Barker got that rebound just a moment ago from right side to left side in a hurry. To the free throw line. Back to the basket for Dyer. Just as she turned around, she traveled with the basketball. And that turnover will give it back to the Crimson Tide. Second turnover on Troy. And that will give it back to the Crimson Tide. Only one turnover to this point for Alabama. 5-4 Crimson Tide leading with the ball. 7:20 left in this first quarter. And a foul called on Peguero guarding Zay Green too closely. Brianna Peguero picking up her first foul and the second team foul on Troy. Barker ready for the inbounds pass. Wanted to go in from the left sideline. Instead, the ball will be brought in on the left baseline. So instead of Barker with the inbounds pass, it'll be Zay Green. Green Pumps it into Cody on the left side. Cody, left side of the lane, driving, right block, right side layup, no good with some contact. Rebound, Barker, left side, her left side putback, banked in. Alabama 7, Troy 4. 7:07 left to go in this first quarter. A pass over the court, stolen away by Barker. Barker to Nye, out to Green on the right wing. Three-pointer on the way. Got it! The steal leads to a three. Alabama's in front, 10-4. Basketball with the Trojans. Sarah Ashley Barker with an impressive steal, and Zay Green knocking down the three. Piguero drives in, floater in the paint, won't go. Fight for the rebound, won by Carly Weathers. Weathers in transition, finds Zay Green. Green out to Nye, right wing, a three. Bottom! 13-4. Alabama leads Troy with 6.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. You'll love when the three-pointers go in the first quarter. Alabama's been able to do so to grow this advantage. Back-to-back threes by Green and Nye. Now it's Baez at the top of the key. Pump fake, finds Jackson on the right elbow extended. Her jumper short on the iron. Rebound right baseline by Zay Green. Here come the Crimson Tide over the timeline to Barker left side. Barker at the free throw line dumps it off to Green. Top of the key three, short, and the rebound right to Barker, top of the key. Right wing Nye, how about a rhythm three? Yes! Another three-pointer to make it 16-4, Crimson Tide. Just under 6 minutes to go in this first quarter. You could not ask for a better start from Christy Curry's team. Now Troy with the basketball, Piguero. Facing coverage, trying to go to Jackson, does on the right block, double team, spins up a shot, and the basketball stuck between the rim and the backboard and wedged in there with 5:41 still to go in this first quarter. They will jar the basketball loose. Just as Alabama takes out Cody and Green, brings in Christabel Azuma, as well as Diana Collins into the game with 5:41 remaining in this first quarter. 16-4 Crimson Tide leading thanks to the strength of an 11-0 run really fueled by three three-pointers. Now the basketball going to the Trojans on the inbounds pass, quickly into Dyer, then handed off back to Wagner. Shalana Wagner now running the offense for Troy as they made their first subs of the day. Also, Kyla Morris in for the first time. Goes quickly in the corner to Speedy Jones. Jones tried to go for a shot, taken away by Barker. Barker maintains her dribble, finds Weathers on the left wing. She tees up a three, off the back iron, no good, and the rebound is tapped right to Morris, and the basketball going right back to the Trojans. In between the rings to Wagner. Troy trailing by 12. 5:09 remaining in this first quarter. Dyer to Morris on the right wing. Morris dancing against Weathers. Step back, long two is short from the right wing. Rebound Barker, then the ball ripped away from her thanks to Speedy Jones, and the ball saved back in play. Back and forth it goes. Finally, Troy has control with Niwayo. They work it out to the left wing. Here's Dyer with a three. In and out, no good. Rebound, the put back up and banked in by Niwayo, and that ends the scoring run for Alabama of 11-0. It's now a 16-6 score. Niwayo scoring for the Trojans. 4.5 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Crimson Tide with the ball up by 10. Collins to Nye. Out to Weathers on the left wing. Back to Nye. A couple steps to the right side, top of the key. Shot clock down to 5. Into Azuma. Right side layup. No good, but she draws a foul. A late whistle on the play, but a foul is going to be called against Niwayo, and that'll take us to a timeout on the floor. 4:18 left to go in this first quarter. We've seen a lot of three-pointers so far for the Crimson Tide, helping Alabama build an early lead against Troy. 16-6 the score in Coleman Coliseum with 4:16 left in the first quarter. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Good start to this game for the Crimson Tide. Alabama with a 16-6 lead against Troy. Still 4:18 remaining in the first quarter. Crimson Tide fans, we remind you to stay up to date with all recommended vaccinations. Flu season is here, so don't wait. Vaccinate. Visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMM today to learn more about how you can stay up to date on vaccinations. ADPH is proud to support the Alabama Crimson Tide. Alabama 16 and Troy 6. Crimson Tide knocking down 3 3-pointers so far in this game. One by Barker, one by Zay Green, and one by Aaliyah Nye. Sarah Ashley leading the way with 7 points, 5 rebounds already for her in this game as well. Alabama out-rebounding Troy by an 8-5 margin, and the Crimson Tide with 1 steal courtesy of Sarah Ashley Barker. Foul just before its timeout on Niyawo for Troy, so that sends Christabel Azuma to the free throw line. First one is good to make it 17-6 in favor of the Crimson Tide. One more coming up for the Campbell transfer. Christabel Azuma. Up. No good off the iron, and the rebound collected by Troy on the left baseline by Speedy Jones. Jones quickly over the timeline against Collins, into the paint, lost control of the ball, taken away by Barker. Here come the Crimson Tide. Barker spins around left front court, finds Nye, top of the key, let it fly. Just short on a three-pointer, and the rebound pulled away by Wagner in the Crimson paint. Basketball to Troy. Wagner working it back to Morris. Morris inside the arc left side, finding Jones on the right wing. Catch and release 3. Short on the iron, and the rebound fought for. Collins grabs it in. Basketball to the Crimson Tide. 3:45 remaining in the first quarter. Alabama ball up 17-6. Collins driving down the right side, spins around, dumps it off to Azuma, and in the process of passing, traveled with the basketball. A turnover on the Crimson Tide, just the third so far in this game. Johnny Cunningham checking in for the Crimson Tide, the 6'5 grad student from Long Island, New York, taking the spot of Christabel Azuma. Full court pressure for the Tide as Troy works with the basketball. Trying to inbound it is Shalana Wagner. Comes in and then worked over to Morris. Over the timeline left to Dyer. Back to Morris now in the right corner. A step back long 3 is on the way, and that is good by Amani Jenkins. 17-9 the score thanks to the Troy 3. 3:24 remaining in the first quarter. It's Crimson Tide ball. Barker on the left wing. Passing top of the key to Collins. Quick handoff back to Barker. Around the screen, right side. To the basket. Lays it up, no good. Cunningham the rebound in the paint. Draws the foul on her putback attempt that was no good. But free throws coming up for Gianna Cunningham. Lonnie Jenkins called for her first foul. Troy now with 4 team fouls so far in this game. 1 on Piguero, Jenkins, Niyawo, and Guyon. Barker heading to the Crimson Tide bench. It's the Crimson Tide with Zay Green back on the floor along with Carly Weathers, Gianna Cunningham at the line, then Collins and Nye. Cunningham's first, rattles off the iron. The Crimson Tide at the free throw line. 2 for 4 to begin this game. One more coming up for Cunningham. Up, in. 18-9 Crimson Tide. Alabama doubling up Troy with 3:14 remaining in the first quarter. Trojans swiftly down the floor with Wagner, left side. Tries to hand off to Jackson, but she's able to hang on to it. Put up the right side layup that is good. Tight defense the entire time. Thought Carly Weathers would get a steal, but instead it's 18-11 thanks to basket by Mo Jackson. Now Weathers to the top of the key. Nye tees up a three-pointer. Hits a three-pointer. Nothing but net for Aaliyah Nye. Her second 3 today makes it Alabama 21, Troy 11 with 2:40 remaining in the first quarter. Basketball back to the Trojans after an Aaliyah Nye 3. Wagner, top of the key to Jackson. Jackson feeling some pressure from Cunningham, starts to drive in, bodies down the right side lane, throws up a shot, and banks it in. 21-13, back-to-back baskets by the senior from Virginia Beach, Virginia, Mo Jackson. Weathers on the left wing. Weathers, top of the key to Collins, handoff back to Weathers, around the screen, down the right side, right elbow, top of the key, Collins. Collins dribbling to the left, finds Nye, left wing 3. Off the iron, no good, and the rebound left blocked by Dyer. Basketball with Troy, just over 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Troy with the ball trailing by 8. Quickly down floor to the left block, and a left side layup good by Zay Dyer. 21-15. Troy has made it a 6-point game with 1:55 remaining in the first quarter. Green to Cunningham, in between the rings to Carly Weathers. Weathers, couple steps to the right side, now floats it to Cunningham, top of the key. Handoff Weathers, long range 3. Got it! Carly Weathers makes it Alabama 24 and Troy 15. Minute 37 left in this first quarter. Back to a 9-point edge for the Crimson Tide. Driving down Wagner to Dyer, right to left. That left side shot no good. Cunningham the rebound on the left block. Basketball to Alabama. Crimson Tide ball up 9. Collins on the left wing. Collins dribbling with the right hand to the right. Now back to the left corner with Carly Weathers. Weathers to the free throw line. To Nye on the right wing. Right corner Green launches a three. Off the iron, no good. Rebound right side lane by Jackson. Here comes Troy trailing by 9. Over the timeline to Morris. Morris right side in the paint. Left side layup is short. Some contact and a foul. That will lead to 2 shots. Johnny Cunningham was behind her when that shot went up, but Cunningham will be called for the foul. First team foul against the Crimson Tide in this game. It'll be Essence Cody coming back in this game after she played some early minutes for the Crimson Tide. Replacing Cunningham and just picked up that last foul. So to the free throw line will be Kyla Morris. Guard from the Bronx, New York. Also Eris Lester, freshman from Jacksonville, Florida. Getting some early minutes in this first quarter of play at the line. First of 2 coming up, and the first one is good. 24-16. Morris back to the free throw line. This one's on the way, and the lefty puts it home. 24-17, a football score with 1 minute remaining in this first quarter. Weathers inbounds on a bounce to Zay Green. And now Green passing over the timeline to Weathers. Weathers, right elbow, spins around. Weathers feeling more pressure at the free throw line. Bounce pass to Green, driving left side. Finds Cody on the right block. Mishandled the pass back to Green. Now on the right wing, Collins a three. High arching and off the rim, no good. Rebound tapped to the left baseline. Saved in play by Eris Lester. Lester trapped really there, and the ball will be poked out of play by Troy's Piguero. Alabama able to maintain this possession. 17 on the shot clock, 36.5 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Weathers from the left corner, bounce pass to Collins under the basket. Right side layup short. Rebound in the paint by Troy. Here come the Trojans. Rebound by Baez. Baez kicks it out. Piguero left wing three is off the iron. No good. Cody fights in for the board, and Alabama's got it back. 23 seconds left. Shot clock turned off for the remainder of the first quarter. Green, Lester, top of the key three. Just short, and the rebound is pulled in by Jackson in the paint. Then stolen by Carly Weathers. Basketball stays with the Crimson Tide. 10 seconds left. Weathers driving right baseline, and a foul called before she could put up a shot on the tight contact from Niyawo. Beg your pardon, that'll be on Jackson. So Jackson called for the foul after Carly Weathers got the steal. 5 team fouls, so the Crimson Tide will be at the line with Carly Weathers. Weathers ready to go at the free throw line. Crimson Tide missing its last 4 shots from the floor, so needing some offense any way they can get it. Might as well get it at the free throw line. Jackson again committing that last foul. On the way, in and out, no good. That makes it 24-17. One more coming up, 8.3 seconds remaining in this first quarter. This is up and good. 25-17 in favor of the Crimson Tide. Troy will get ready with Niyawo for a long inbounds pass. You would assume Alabama showing backcourt pressure. Quickly into Wagner, 7 seconds left. Picked up on defense in the backcourt. Over the timeline left to Piguero. Piguero, bounce pass to Wagner, head fake by her. Top of the key three at the buzzer is up. No good off the backboard, and that closes out the first 10 minutes of play. Impressive showing by Alabama, but Troy started to fight back after trailing 16-4 early. It is now 25-17 Alabama leading Troy as we get ready for the second quarter here in Tuscaloosa. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Getting ready to start the second quarter in Tuscaloosa. Alabama leading Troy 25-17 on this Sunday afternoon. Fans, you can stay up to date with the latest on the Crimson Tide by tuning into Tide TV This Week. Check your local listings for TV times in your area. And remember, Tide TV This Week also on demand, RollTide.com and the Alabama Athletics YouTube channel. Tide TV This Week hosted by Mary Reagan Bolick. Getting ready to start the second quarter, Alabama up 25-17. So far, the leading scorer in this game for the Crimson Tide, Aaliyah Nye, knocking down a trio of three-pointers. She has got 9 points already, followed by Zay Green with 6 points, Sarah Ashley Barker with 4 points and 5 rebounds so far in this game for the Crimson Tide. So a good start from some of the regulars for the Tide. Meanwhile, leading the way, 2 players with 4 points each, Zay Dyer and Mo Jackson to this point for the Troy Trojans. Again, a good test for the Crimson Tide against the Troy Trojans. First time these programs have met since that WNIT Round 1 matchup a few years ago. Troy picked to finish second in the Sun Belt preseason poll, just behind James Madison, which has become a pretty consistent program in women's basketball over the last few years in the Sun Belt. But it's always a team that competes hard, and so no surprise after trailing by 12 points early. That was Alabama's largest lead when it was 16-4. No surprise to see them start to fight their way back in to this ball game. And right now trailing it by 8 points, 25-17. We're back underway, Crimson Tide with the basketball. Zay Green passing to Weathers on the right wing. Weathers bounce pass to Barker, top of the key, just inside the arc. Barker starting to drive down the left side, back to the basket, now in the paint, spins around, gives it to Cody, left side, reverse layup, good, Essence Cody. 10-point Crimson Tide advantage, 27-17. Trojans quickly down the floor with Baez. Baez to the top of the key, Iyawo, head fake, now she pops a three-pointer, too strong, and the rebound, Cody in the Crimson paint. Basketball to Alabama. Here is Weathers over the timeline left. Weathers on the left wing, a handoff to Barker, then to Cody, back to Barker, top of the key, a three. Off the iron, and the rebound collected right side of the lane by Baez. Troy with the ball. Baez to the right wing, launching a quick three. That is good. It's Nate Oates-style basketball, how quickly they got down the floor. 27-20 on the three-pointer by Ashley Baez. 7-point game, 9 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Zay Green, the point guard, facing tight defense by Figueroa in between the rings. Gives to Barker, top of the key. Barker a step to the right, driving down the right side to the basket, puts it up, banks it home. 29-20, Crimson Tide back in front by 9. Trojans moving quickly with Wagner, driving left side layup, off the window, won't go. Barker there for the rebound in the paint, then lost it, tries to save it in play, and in the act of saving it, went on the baseline. So Troy will have the ball with 20 on the shot clock. Another example of the effort and the hustle that we have seen from Sarah Ashley Barker all throughout her Crimson Tide career. Troy will take out Niawo as well as Imavori. And now get ready for the inbounds pass. It'll be Shalana Wagner on the right baseline. Quickly into Dyer, right block, guarded by Barker, top of the key. Here's Jackson with the three-pointer. That's short, and the rebound of the free throw line by Alabama's Aaliyah Nye. To Weathers over the timeline, 9-point Crimson Tide lead. Weathers, left side lane, spins around. Her defender falls down, puts the shot up, no good. Rebound tap from Cody right to Troy, unfortunately, and the basketball with the Trojans. Figueroa in the right corner, able to find an open Baez driving in right side. Layup spins home. 29-22. Christy Curry did not like what she saw there. She'll take a quick timeout as Troy has outscored Alabama 5-4 to begin the second quarter, and with still 8:11 left to go before halftime, it's Alabama with a 7-point lead, 29-22 against Troy. Back with the rest of the second quarter next. This is Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. 8:11 remaining in this second quarter. Crimson Tide 29 and Troy 22. Make sure you watch Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, Thursday and Tuesday afternoons during football season, Tuesday and Thursday on all CTSN social media platforms. Join us for the latest on Alabama athletics. Full recap of the LSU win coming up on Tuesday. We'll look ahead to the Mercer Bears coming up on Thursday with Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. Coach Curry calling timeout. Didn't like a couple things she saw on the defensive end for the Tide as Troy has outscored Alabama 5-4 to begin quarter number 2. Inbounds pass, baseball pass over the timeline from Weathers to Barker. Spins around left side, reverse layup right side, no good. And a foul called. Barker, a tough tumble to the floor. Teammates bend down to pick her up, and now Barker slowly back up to her feet. Carly Weathers, of course, her dad, had a long Major League pitching career. Her brother Ryan has appeared in Major League Baseball as well for the Padres, now a member of the Marlins organization, but that was just an outstanding pass from Weathers to Barker. Good to see Barker back up. That certainly was a physical tumble to the floor as the foul was committed by Dyer. One dribble, Barker puts it up and in. 30-22 in favor of the Crimson Tide. That was the first team foul on Troy here in the second quarter. Second for Barker on its way. No good up the back iron. Cody with a rebound. Cody drives back in. Right side layup, no good. Jackson with a rebound for Troy. Basketball, the Trojans down 8. 8 minutes to go before halftime. Baez to Jackson, top of the key. Jackson, right block. Here's Dyer. The ball ripped out of her hands by Sarah Ashley. Here come the Crimson Tide. Barker over the timeline left. 8-point Alabama advantage. Barker, free throw line, has a lane, right side driving, puts it up, puts it in, and she's fouled. Sarah Ashley Barker. 10-point Crimson Tide lead, 32-22. Barker will have a chance to make it an 11-point game at the free throw line. Foul was on Jackson. That'll be her second. Mo Jackson with 2 fouls in this ball game. Sarah Ashley back to the line. Barker picking up her scoring. Now she's got 9 points, 6 rebounds already in this game as well for Barker. With their light pink Nikes, toes the line. One dribble, puts it up, and in. Barker to double-figure scoring, leading the way with now 10 points for the Crimson Tide, and it's an 11-point lead, 33-22. Troy with the basketball, but no longer. A pass intended for Jackson. The free throw line sails to the baseline and now to play. Turnover on the Trojans. That is the 7th so far on Troy. 4 turnovers committed by Alabama so far in this game. Crimson Tide with Zay Green over the timeline. Green flashes down the left side. Underhand layup up. No good. A foul is called, and that will be a defensive foul against Troy. And that'll be also, looks like, on Jackson. 3rd foul on her, picking up 2 fouls in a hurry here for Troy. She's picked up 3 fouls all in this second quarter. So she will head to the Troy bench as Zay Dyer will check back in. Zay Green at the free throw line for Alabama, already 6 points today, 1 of 1 at the line. 2 shots coming up for Green. First one is good, Alabama. 7 of 11 at the free throw line. 34-22, Alabama's matched its largest lead of the game, 12 points. Second one on the way, that's good. 35-22, Crimson Tide. Diana Collins checks in, replacing Carly Weathers. So the Crimson Tide on the floor with Zay Green and Collins at the same time. 2 key point guards for the Crimson Tide. Now it's Troy working with the basketball. Dyer over the timeline from left to right, just able to get it to Niawo, who felt the pressure, started to drive in from the left side. Her shot goes up and no good, and a foul called against Alabama's Diana Collins. That'll be her first foul. And the first team foul on the Crimson Tide here in the second quarter. So that will send Fortuna Niawo to the free throw line. Senior from Cameroon, leading the way, averaging 13 points per game. The lefty's first free throw is good. 35-22, that ends what had been a 6-0 Crimson Tide run. One more for Niawo. Up. Rattles in to make it 35-24. 7:19 remaining in this second quarter. Basketball will be with the Crimson Tide. Barker ready for the inbounds pass just after Troy made a few substitutions. Crimson Tide on the floor with Nye, Collins, Cody, Green, and Barker. Inbounds pass, Barker to Green. Green will be passing over the timeline to Barker. Barker kicks it out in the left corner. Here's a three-pointer up and in. Diana Collins joins the three-point party. That makes it Alabama 38, Troy 24. 7 minutes to go before halftime. Trojans with the basketball. Trailing by 14. This is Alabama's largest lead of the game. Driving down the right side lane. Bounce pass back to the top of the key. Baez. Baez inside the arc, finding Dyer. Dyer spinning around SEC logo. Forces it up and banks in the shot just over Barker. 38-26 the score. Basketball back to the Crimson Tide. Green at the top of the key, couple steps to the right. Now right side lane driving, puts it up, banks it in. Zay Green, new one to take off for the Crimson Tide. She's got 10 points. It's 40-26. Quickly down floor, Dyer, right side layup, no good. Rebound with Alabama for a moment, but Crimson Tide with Green stepped on the baseline in the act of rebounding, so that will keep the ball with the Cardinal of Troy. Troy getting ready to inbound the basketball. 6:26 remaining in the second quarter. Alabama 40, Troy 26. Troy will inbound the basketball on the left wing. A quick three-pointer up and in by Ashley Baez. 40-29. Catch and release three-pointer. Got it to go. Senior from Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. 6:14 remaining in the second quarter. Alabama with an 11-point lead. Green to the top of the key. Cody. Cody back to Green, top of the key. Green on the right wing. Collins, head fake, starts to drive in for the right side. Tried to give to Cody, but that's intercepted right under the basket by Dyer. Trojans on the fast break. Wagner. Wagner driving right side. Her shot swatted at by Cody, and in and out, no good. Rebound, Collins. Basketball to the Crimson Tide. Collins. Handoff to Green. Alabama with the ball up 11. Green driving in right baseline, and a foul called. Troy with some contact on Green, just as Alabama would have made a three-pointer, but basketball not count. The foul before the shot. Christabella Zuma, Carly Weathers coming back in for the Crimson Tide. That foul against Ashley Baez, her first so far in this game. Barker heading out as well for the Crimson Tide, as well as Essence Cody. Basketball on the floor. That was the fourth team foul on the right baseline. Green trying to trigger the inbounds pass in to Nye. Right baseline, mid-range jumper, no good, and the Trojans get the rebound back. And working with the basketball will be Troy. It was Dyer getting the rebound just against Emevery. Now to Emevery at the SEC logo. Driving in, spinning around, leaves a floater up, left it short thanks to the defense of Azuma. Great work by Christabel Azuma in the post. Basketball to Alabama. Up 11. Green, free throw line. Finds Weathers, left wing three, high arching and short. Rebound left side lane by Troy. It's Wagner, quickly to Dyer, and then Dyer nearly ran into Tim Plant, but he takes his seat, and the ball went out of play. Welcome to the action, Tim. The basketball is back with Troy. Tim, of course, husband to Alabama's longtime women's basketball administrative assistant, now retired. Vicky Plant, great people. Always courtside here for Alabama games. Here is Dyer, a three-pointer up, in and out, no good, and the rebound pulled away by Azuma. Basketball going back to the Crimson Tide. Up 11, Alabama trying to grow this lead as Green gets tangled up with her defender driving to the basket. She is fouled, and that will take us to a timeout on the floor. Second personal foul on Baez, and will not take us to a timeout since we've already had the media timeout. Barker will come back in for the Crimson Tide, replacing Diana Collins. It's been over a minute and a half since the Crimson Tide scored a field goal. At the free throw line, though, Alabama's been able to find some points. Zay Green to the line already with 10 points, and it will stay that way. First free throw going in and out. One more coming up for the senior. Zay Green now with her fourth school in her collegiate career. That's in and out, no good. And the rebound tapped out of play by Troy, so the ball will stay with Alabama. Green starting her career Tennessee, time with Lady Vols, Texas A&M, Arkansas Pine Bluff. Now finishing her career as a grad student with Alabama. 4:55 remaining. Bounce pass into Weathers. Quickly back on the right side to Green, right corner. Green thought about a three, instead works inside, spins around right side lane, and traveled to the basketball. Put up a shot and scored, but picked up her feet in that spinning move. So that turnover will give the ball back to Troy. Trojans working with the ball. Troy 4 of 11 from the floor so far in this second quarter. Still trailing by double digits on the road in Alabama. Wagner to the top of the key. Here's a three-pointer on the way. No good by Niyawo, and the rebound by Barker under the basket. Barker pushing tempo to Green left side. Green to the free throw line. Kicks it back out. Right wing three. Alianai is off the mark. Barker dives to save it in play, but the ball will go out of play and to Troy. Scoring drought of over 2 minutes for Alabama. Troy also slowing things down offensively. They have missed 4 shots in a row. Harris Lester back in for the Crimson Tide, replacing Aaliyah Nye. Inbounds pass comes in to Wagner. Wagner slowly dribbling over Scripte and Crimson. Wanting some motion as she pounds the right-hand dribble. A few steps to the right wing, guarded by Green. Now 10 on the shot clock. Wagner working the basketball to Morris. Morris on the left wing to Niyawo. 5 on the shot clock, spinning from the left baseline. Forces up a shot and banks it in. 40-31, 9-point Alabama lead with just under 4 minutes to go. But it's been nearly a 3-minute scoring drought for Alabama, allowing Troy to creep back in this game. Weathers, top of the key, around the screen, to the left elbow, back to Barker, top of the key. Barker driving, left side lane, puts it up, puts it in. That ends the drought. Sarah Ashley Barker with 12 points. That makes it 42-31, Crimson Tide. 3.5 minutes remaining before halftime. Wagner with the basketball for Troy on the right wing. Dribbles to the top of the key. Passes back on the right wing to Dyer, nearly mishandled the pass. Back to Wagner, top of the key. Wagner, 10 on the shot clock. Dribbles to the right, pops a three-pointer. Off the iron, no good. Barker, the rebound right block. Basketball to Alabama. Barker over the timeline left. Alabama ball up by 11. Barker, free throw line, top of the key. Lester with the basketball, a step to the left. Driving the left side lane, spinning around, and a hook and hold. It'll be Dyer called for the foul, getting tangled up with Lester. Zay Dyer with her second foul. 5th team foul on Troy. Alabama will be in the bonus the remainder of this second quarter. Leading Troy 42-31 on this Sunday that wraps up the opening week of women's college basketball season. Already wins this season against New Orleans and Alabama A&M for the Crimson Tide. Harris Lester to the line to shoot 2 for the Crimson Tide. Scored 1,000 points at Orange Park High School before closing out her career at Montverde Academy. Lester's first one on the way. Leaves it short. Alabama at the free throw line today, 8 of 15. One more coming up for Lester. 11-point Crimson Tide advantage. Lester puts it on frame and leaves that one short, and then a lane violation as well on the Crimson Tide. Christy Curry with hands on her head, looking out to the court. Frustrated about the free throw shooting, and I'm sure the lane violation as well. Troy will have the basketball with Niyawo. Inbounding on a bounce to Wagner. Wagner dribbling over the timeline left, angling to the left wing. Wagner, bounce pass left side lane, Niyawo back to the top of the key, stolen away, Weathers, lost her footing, pass to Barker. Barker floats it out to Lester on the left block. Lester feeling the heat. Lester tried to save it in play, but Troy will come up with it, only to step right on the baseline with Emevery. So the ball will stay with the Crimson Tide. Leonai will come back in. She will take the spot of freshman Eris Lester. 2:38 remaining in the second quarter. Alabama 42, Troy 31. Green ready for the inbounds pass. And to Cunningham inside the left corner. Cunningham, left block 9, left side layup is good. Aaliyah Nye scoring inside after her first 3 makes had been from beyond the arc. That makes it 44-31. Crimson Tide up 13, 2:25 remaining. Here is Guyon with the basketball at the top of the key, launching a long 3, off the iron, no good. Rebound, fought for, and a foul called, trying to go for the rebound. Alabama with the contact and the foul called. And that's on Zay Green. First foul on Green today. Troy will bring back in its point guard, Brianna Piguero, replacing Imani Jenkins. Troy will inbound the basketball That was only the second team foul on the Crimson Tide this quarter. Inbounds pass, quickly tapped at a play from Zay Green over the baseline, just as Wagner was trying to work the ball back in play. Inbounds pass into Peguero on the right wing. Peguero, quick handoff back to Wagner. Wagner on the right wing. Gets a screen, goes to the left of that screen. Picks up on defense by Cody. Forces it to Niawo, left side lane, spinning around, throwing up a shot, no good. Imevery gets the rebound, her right side putback good to make it 44-33. 11-point Alabama lead, just under 2 minutes to go before halftime. Green to Cody, to Barker on the right wing. Barker floats it, right side lane, Green, she's got it. Kicks it out to a wide open Weathers, left corner three. Switch! Carly Weathers makes it Alabama 47, Troy 33. Troy forgot all about Carly and she made them pay. Now the Crimson Tide with 7 3-point makes already in this game. Not even halftime yet. Imevery back to the top of the key to Guyon. Guyon in between the rings to Wagner, shot clock at 10. Wagner driving, spinning around, left elbow jumper off the iron, no good. Barker fighting for the rebound, but the ball won by Niwoa as she puts it up. That's no good, and the rebound taken away by Weathers. Quickly to Barker over the timeline. Barker swings it out to Green, left side three. Off the iron, no good. Rebound left baseline, corralled by Guyon. Back to Troy. We have less than a minute to go in this second quarter. Troy working the ball over the timeline with Wagner. After a step to the left, works back. Left wing, guarded closely by Zay Green. Tries to get rid of it, does. Left elbow extended to Niawo, who puts up the shot, and an offensive foul. She knocked down Aaliyah Nye, and Niawo will be called for her second foul. Crimson Tide ball, 36.9 seconds remaining in this second quarter. Alabama 47, Troy 33. Another possession coming up for the Crimson Tide to try and add to what is already a 14-point lead, which matches the largest lead Alabama has enjoyed today. 6-second difference in between the shot clock and the game clock. Here at Coleman Coliseum, Green just over the timeline right. Pesky defense by Peguero trying to stab at the basketball. Green maintaining her right-handed dribble. Now gets moving to the right wing inside the arc. Green to Weathers, top of the key. Nye, left wing three. Got it! Aaliyah Nye again. Her fourth three-pointer, and she has made it Alabama 50. Troy 33. 5 seconds left. Guy on top of the key. Guyon, left elbow, heaves it up, leaves it short. First half over. Alabama closes out the first half on a 6-0 run thanks to three-pointers by Carly Weathers and Aaliyah Nye, and the Crimson Tide will head to the locker room with a 50-33 advantage over the Troy Trojans. Coming up is the Toyota Halftime Report with first half stats and scores from around the country, including the SEC. Once again, our score at Coleman Coliseum at halftime. Alabama 50 and Troy 33. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. outscored Alabama's bench 13-5 so far in this first half. Once again, the score at halftime, Alabama 50 and Troy 33. We will step aside and be back with more of the Toyota Halftime Report next. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Broadcast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by the University of Alabama. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of the university and Learfield. Announcers are provided by Learfield and approved by the university.
Halftime in Tuscaloosa, Alabama leading Troy 50-33. Let's take a look at our Alabama Power scoreboard update. Alabama Power, a proud supporter of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Alabama Power, power for a better Alabama. Taking a look around the Southeastern Conference, other games at halftime. Texas with a 66-29 lead against Southeast Missouri State. The Ole Miss Rebels leading at the break 50-14 against Zay Green's old team, Arkansas Pine Bluff. Also halftime in Bryan-College Station, Texas A&M with a 42-17 lead against Western Michigan. And the other game that is at halftime that we'll talk about for a second, Missouri trailing at home to Alabama's next opponent, Norfolk State, with a 26-23 advantage over Mizzou. Then really the game of the day in women's college basketball is at halftime as well. That game in the Alley tip-off is South Carolina, number 1 ranked team in the country, up by 9 at the break against the 9th ranked team in the country. Final Four team as well, NC State. So that's really the most notable matchup of the day. Final from earlier, it was Georgia defeating Furman 74-46. The final score from Stegman Coliseum. Coming up later, it'll be Mississippi State hosting Alcorn State at Humphrey Coliseum. Our score at Coleman Coliseum, it's the University of Alabama 50 and Troy University 33 at the break in women's basketball. We'll come back and tell you what to expect next in the second half. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Halftime here in Tuscaloosa, the Crimson Tide with a 50-33 advantage over Troy, a 17-point lead at the break. Alabama was able to close out the first half on a 6-0 run for its largest lead of the first half. What to expect in the second half is presented by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide. Well, for the Crimson Tide, just keep giving the ball to Aaliyah Nye from beyond the arc, already knocking down 4 3-pointers in this game. She has been very impressive, similar to how she looked earlier this week in that great performance against New Orleans where she knocked down 7 3-pointers and helped really establish the tone of this season for her from beyond the arc after last year setting an Alabama school record, being the best in the SEC with 3-point makes. But just a tremendous start to this ball game for Aaliyah Nye. Maybe something else to keep an eye on coming up is, can the Crimson Tide keep working the ball into Essence Cody in the paint? There is some size on this Troy roster, but Cody with only 2 points, 3 rebounds during her time on the floor, and that's kind of been limited minutes as well, only played 11 minutes in the first half. But this is a good test to see where Cody is, trying to be a scorer and rebounder for the Crimson Tide, in addition to supplying some of the good defense she continues to give, especially with blocks. Already has 1 block in the game, but maybe can Alabama work the ball into Essence Cody is something else to keep an eye on in today's game. Before we go any further, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. That is 10 seconds for a station ID. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Trojans back on the floor, getting ready for the second half. Crimson Tide will return to the floor in a moment, so that does it for the Toyota Halftime Report. Visit your local Toyota dealer or explore Toyota.com today. No matter your destination, Toyota goes with you. Toyota, let's go places. Third quarter coming up. Alabama leading Troy 50-33 in Tuscaloosa. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Third quarter coming up shortly between Alabama and Troy. 50-33 the lead for the Crimson Tide of the break. I want to remind you, tomorrow we've got a doubleheader of sorts on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. I do want to tell you first about Crimson Tide Rewind, presented by the Alabama Department of Public Health. That'll start at 6 p.m. from Baumhower's in Vestavia Hills. Corey Reamer and I will break down Alabama against LSU, that nice win we had on the Bayou last night. And then at the same time, really starting an hour earlier with pregame coverage, will be men's basketball against McNeese State. Speaking of LSU, Will Wade, former LSU head coach, will be in town with his McNeese State Cowboys taking on Nate Oates and the second-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. Tip-off at 6. Our radio coverage at 5, so make sure you join us tomorrow. We will have a NASCAR Courtside cam for the game coming up tomorrow between Alabama and McNeese State in men's basketball. Got it going today. Hello to everybody watching on the NASCAR Courtside cam. It will be basketball with the Troy Trojans on the left goal to start this third quarter. Lee and I poking the basketball loose and out of play. Let's see. The officials will talk things over. Will be, yes, Crimson Tide basketball. Krista Curry is able to get the proper attention of our officials, Polani Spurlock, Kristen Bell, and Ryan Durham. Basketball with Alabama. 12 seconds into the third quarter. And bounce pass comes in from Barker to Zay Green. Green over the timeline. A quick handoff to Essence Cody. Cody to Aaliyah Nye. Nye at the top of the key. Back to Zay Green. Green driving, swing it out, trying to go to Barker. That's tapped at a play by Wagner. The ball will stay with the Crimson Tide with 13 seconds left on the shot clock. 9:32 remaining in this third quarter. It's Alabama 50 and Troy 33. On the left corner, Weathers inbounds the basketball to Green in the left front court. Shot clock down to 10. Here's Green driving down the right side lane, floats it up, banks it in. Hello, Zay Green. That makes it 52-33 Crimson Tide. Alabama's largest lead of the game, now 19. Basketball with Troy. Here is Peguero. Quick handoff to Baez. Baez left alone, top of the key. A three is good. Ashley Baez draining her third three-pointer in this ball game. 52-35. Quickly down floor to Carly Weathers through traffic, breaking a double team to the left wing. Now at the top of the key, swings it out to Nye. Right corner three. Off the back iron, no good, and the rebound by Troy. Basketball with the Trojans. Niyawo got the rebound for the Trojans. Here's floater up by Peguero. That's no good. And the rebound by Green in transition to Barker. Then to Weathers from left to right. Weathers, right wing, collides with her defender. Had a great head fake and had the contact before she started to drive in. But the contact from Baez, she is called for the foul. That will be her third. Third foul on Baez. It'll be Zay Green ready for the inbounds pass. First team foul on the Troy Trojans here in the third quarter. Sarah Ashley Barker will inbound the basketball on the right sideline for Alabama. Baez goes out, and Kyla Morris checks in for Troy. Inbounds pass to Cody. Handoff back to Barker. Barker driving left side. Has her pass to the top of the key, tipped by Dyer, right to Wagner. Wagner's pass, though, goes too strong, intended for Morris over the baseline. Out of control, Troy with the turnover will give the ball to the Crimson Tide. 52-36 the score. Alabama leading with 8.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Zay Green over the timeline left. Handoff on the left wing to Weathers. Cody back to Weathers, top of the key. Weathers into the paint. Tried for a bounce pass to Cody, but that's quickly intercepted by Dyer. Dyer left to right to Morris, then her pass finally gets back to Dyer. Niyawo left wing, back to Morris, now at the top of the key. Wagner back to Dyer, right block, right side layup rattles in. 52-38. Troy outscoring Alabama 5-2 in this third quarter. Green to the right corner, Sarah Ashley Barker. Barker, step inside the arc. Into the paint, feels some pressure, passes on the left wing. Here is Zay Green, 10 on the shot clock. Green driving in left side. From the baseline, puts up a shot, no good. Rebound, Carly Weathers for a moment, then Green collided with her, and then Troy rips the basketball away with Dyer. Dyer lost her shoe, puts it back on as Troy works with the basketball. Peguero from inside the arc, a long range two is no good on the right corner. Rebound goes out of play. Last touch by Alabama, so it will be Troy ball. 7:27 remaining in this third quarter. Alabama 52 and Troy 38. Crimson Tide will sub in Diana Collins to take the spot of Carly Weathers. And bounce pass coming up from Kyla Morris. Morris into Wagner on the left wing. Wagner makes a move, drives in against Green, left side, layup too strong. Rebound Cody on the right block. Basketball to Alabama. Green over the timeline. Alabama up 14. Green works the basketball top of the key to Barker. Barker driving in left side, spins around the lane to Nye. Nye driving in. Her shot blocked away by Troy. Basketball coming back to the Trojans. Wagner in transition. Driving at the basketball. Peguero, her layup no good. Rebound by Niyawo. She goes up with a shot and draws the foul from the Crimson Tide. Free throws on the way. Zay Green called for her second foul. First team foul on the Crimson Tide here in the third quarter. Christabel Azuma will check in to replace Essence Cody. 6:58 remaining here in the third quarter, and it will be Niawo to the free throw line. Fortuna Niawo, 67% free throw shooter. Already today, she's got 6 points, 2 of 2 at the line. The lefty's first is good. 52-39. Troy outscoring Alabama 6-2 in this third quarter. Alabama has not scored in 2 minutes, 27 seconds. Niawo has that one rattle in, 52-40. So now it's back to a 12-point game. Alabama basketball seeing Troy start this third quarter on a 7-2 run. Green at the top of the key. Green spinning around, looking for some help, finds it in Barker. Barker trying to save it and play right sideline, can't do it. Goes into the fans sitting on the front row. A turnover on the Crimson Tide. That is the 9th on Alabama, 11 on Troy, but Crimson Tide with the turnovers really picking up 3 already in the first 3+ minutes of this third quarter. Driving in Piguero, left side against Collins, throws it up off the rim, no good. A fight for the rebound and a foul called in the midst of that fight against Troy. A hard tumble to the floor by Azuma, but she's helped to her feet. And the Owl will stay in the game. Carly Weathers will check back in. The Owl will head back to the bench after picking up what is her third foul, and the second foul on Troy in the third quarter. Troy in the midst of a 7-0 run. 7-2 start for the Trojans here in the third quarter, making this a 12-point game, 6.5 minutes remaining in quarter number 3. Green at the top of the key to 9 trying to go to Azuma, who had plenty of contact from Mo Jackson. That'll be her 4th foul, and it comes with 6:24 left to go in the third. Troy will have to sub in Emma Emevery. She'll take the spot of Jackson on the floor. Alabama will inbound the basketball. Green, and more contact before Green even throws it in. That was away from the ball on Troy and on Imani Jenkins. That'll be her second foul, and all of a sudden Troy is up to 4 team fouls. One more will put Alabama in the bonus for the remainder of this quarter. Green inbounds the basketball to Nye, right baseline, handoff back to Green. Green in the right corner, around the screen to the right wing. Screen set by Azuma, bounce pass to Azuma, goes off her hand and out of play. Troy did touch the ball last, so it'll stay Crimson Tide ball with 12 on the shot clock. Crimson Tide 52, Troy Trojans 40. Zay Green will inbound the basketball. Green into Collins, right wing 3. Off the iron, Azuma fights for the rebound, but Dyer wins the battle. Dyer over the timeline to Jenkins. Jenkins can't hang on to it left side. The ball rolls to the pep band, and Alabama will get it back on the turnover. 12-point Alabama lead, trying to end what has been a 7-0 Troy run over these last 3 minutes. Alabama has missed its last 4 shots from the floor. Scoring drought of over 3 minutes for the Crimson Tide. Top of the key, Zay Green to 9, top of the key. Driving down the right side lane, forces it up off the window, no good. Azuma the rebounder, putback is good. Christabel Azuma ends the drought to make it an Alabama 14-point lead, 54-40. 5:45 left to go in this third quarter. Basketball back with Troy, and a foul called on Diana Collins, guarding Piguero a little too closely. Collins will be guilty of what is her second foul in this game. 5:43 remaining in the third quarter. Alabama 54, Troy 40. Inbounds pass, worked in, right elbow to Jenkins. Jenkins heaves up a jumper short. Rebound taps back to Jenkins, right elbow. Floater off the window this time is good. A wild shot, got it to go. And Imani Jenkins, transfer from Trinity Valley. That makes it 54-42. Alabama driving with Zay Green, right side through 2 defenders. Puts it up, puts it in. Count it, she's fouled. Zay Green makes it 56-42 Crimson Tide. Chance for one more at the free throw line. Piguero with her second foul. 5th team foul, Alabama in the double bonus. The rest of the way are just the bonus. 2 free throws in women's basketball once you reach the bonus. 5 fouls per quarter. Here is Green to shoot one more, already 14 points. Make it 15, the and one is good. 57-42, Alabama with a 15-point lead. 5:25 remaining in the third quarter. Zay Green goes to the bench. Carly Weathers back in for the Crimson Tide. Alabama Back on defense, just as Troy works them all over the timeline right with Wagner with neon yellow shoes. Top of the key, Wagner. Looks down low, wants to force it there, instead goes to the left side to Harris. Morris, a head fake, now works the ball back top of the key to Wagner. Right side lane to Dyer, forces up a shot, too strong. Azuma the rebound left block. Here comes Alabama. Chance to build on a 15-point Crimson Tide lead. Just under 5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Azuma to Weathers on the left wing. Top of the key, Collins. Collins round the screen, down the right side lane. Collins spins, bounce pass left side. Azuma goes up with a shot, no good, but she is fouled in the act of shooting, and free throws coming up for Azuma when we come back to Tuscaloosa. 57-42, Alabama leads Troy with 4:42 remaining in the third quarter. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. .442 left to go in the third quarter here in Tuscaloosa. Alabama 57 and Troy 42. Reminder to keep up with everything Alabama with the Crimson Tide mobile app presented by Cadence Bank. Download the Alabama Crimson Tide mobile app now for free at the App Store as well as Google Play. A lot to keep up on around Crimson Tide athletics as Alabama football last night earned an important victory over the LSU Tigers, 42-13, the final score. From Tiger Stadium, a lot of people have made the trip back from Tiger Stadium to Baton Rouge to here at Coleman Coliseum for this women's basketball game. Good to see the Director of Athletics, Greg Byrne, courtside for this one. So Alabama tries to pick up its third win of the year in women's college basketball. Already wins against New Orleans and Alabama A&M. And Alabama, after at first trailing Troy in terms of quarter scoring, Troy had a 7-0 run to outscore Alabama at 1.7-2 in this third quarter. The Crimson Tide have started to pick it up a little bit since then, and also the defense has been better as well for the Crimson Tide, holding Troy to just one of its last 7 shots from the floor. Christabel Azuma will go to the free throw line. Foul just for its timeout by Imani Jenkins. That was the third foul on Jenkins in this ball game. So now it'll be Jenkins to the free throw line. First one for Azuma is good. 58-42 Crimson Tide leading. 4:42 remaining in this third quarter. Second one on the way, no good off the back iron, rebound in the paint by Emebery. And then her pass sails out of play right into the 2 hands of Vicky Plant. Plant family very involved already in this game, sitting courtside. Tim and Vicky. Carly Weathers now ready for the pass. Alabama's quickly into Nye. Floating it on the left block, right block, spinning around is Azuma, spins around again through 2 defenders, finds Nye, right wing 3. Got it! Leonine buries her 5th three-pointer of the game, and that makes it 61-42 Bama. 4:20 remaining in this third quarter. Alabama now outscoring Troy 11-9 in this third quarter. Worked out to Guyon. Guyon trying to drive in against Weathers. Floater in the paint won't go. Rebound Azuma, and Weathers fighting for it. Out of play off of Alabama trying to secure the loose ball. Troy will sub in Roberson for the first time today. Jamaica Roberson from the state of Alabama, from Montgomery, transferred in from Bishop State to Troy. Basketball with the Trojans. Dyer knocks down Barker. Offensive foul. Barker takes the charge for the Crimson Tide. Third foul on Dyer. Alabama already in the bonus in this third quarter. But the basketball right back on the offensive foul. 4 minutes left to go in this quarter. Alabama matching its largest lead of the game, 19. Collins, bounce pass to Barker. Barker at the top of the key. Barker, couple steps down the right side of the lane, tiptoeing towards the block. Spins into the paint. Spins again, fights her way up, puts it up, no good off the iron. Contact, she fell to the floor, slapped the floor. She was upset a foul wasn't called, and the shot didn't go in. Guyon driving, right side layup just over an eye is good, and that makes it 61-44. Basketball back with the Crimson Tide. 3.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Troy on defense. Crimson Tide with the ball with Barker to the top of the key. Collins, quick handoff back to Barker. Driving, right side layup, short. Azuma the rebound right side. Her put back up, no good, but she was fouled. Free throws on the way for Christabel Azuma. Roberson into the game, called for her first foul. 2 shots coming up for Christabel Azuma. Azuma already today 4 points, 2 of them at the free throw line. 2 of 4 at the line today. First one up, in. 62-44 Crimson Tide. Second one on its way, in and out, no good. Barker fighting for the rebound, but taken away by Morris. Basketball to the Trojans. Wagner driving under the basket, hands off Roberson. Her shot blocked by Azuma, but Azuma will be called for the foul. Christabel Azuma called for her first foul. Zay Green will be coming in a moment for the Crimson Tide, just as Roberson will go to the free throw line. Last year scored 10-plus points in 21 games for Bishop State. Barker will head back to the Crimson Tide bench and talk first with Christy Curry. Now here is Roberson to the line. 62-44 the score with 3:10 left in third. Roberson's first. Swirls off the iron, no good. One more coming up for Roberson. Got it. 62-45, basketball back to the Crimson Tide. 3:10 remaining in this third quarter. Pretty even scoring between these teams, as even as it gets. Both sides with 12 points in this third quarter of play. So back to the halftime margin of Alabama leading by 17. It's top of the key Weathers finding Azuma from the left to the right, leaves her layup short. Contact, no foul called. Pass stolen away by Nye. Top of the key to Collins. Collins driving back to Nye on the right side. Top of the key Green. Green dances inside the arc. Pushes tempo, finds Collins right corner. Her three is short. Azuma flies in for the board. Azuma's put back too strong. Fight for the rebound. Dyer wins the battle. Dyer standing at 6'2" with a long wingspan. Finally hauled it in for Troy with the rebound. 2:35 left in this third quarter. Basketball with Troy. Wagner against Collins at the top of the key, driving in right side. Out of control, throws up a shot that banks in. 62-47. Basketball back to the Crimson Tide. Zay Green pounding the right-handed dribble as she calls that a play with her left. Drives inside, right to the basket, plays it up, lays it in. Zay Green, new one to take off and score for the Crimson Tide. She makes it 64-47. To Guy on left wing, quick three, in and out, no good. And finally through the cylinder good. That was impressive for Guyon. So 64-50 with that three-pointer by Guyon. Basketball back with the Crimson Tide. Driving, Green finds Collins. Now Weathers top of the key. Launches a three-pointer. Perfect! The high arching three by Carly Weathers makes it Alabama 67, Troy 50. Timeout, Troy. Only a minute 48 left to go in this third quarter, but the Crimson Tide back to a 17-point lead against the in-state Troy Trojans. Back with the rest of the third quarter next. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. .48 left to go in the third quarter here in Tuscaloosa. It's Alabama 67 and Troy 50. Crimson Tide fans, the Alabama Department of Public Health reminds you to stay up to date with all recommended vaccinations. Flu season is here, and don't wait, vaccinate. Visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMM today to learn more about how you can stay up to date on vaccinations. So the Crimson Tide with this advantage against Troy, 67-50 is the score. Both sides with 17 points in this third quarter. Crimson Tide led in scoring by Zay Green and Aaliyah Nye, both leading the way with 17. Aaliyah Nye already a 5 3-pointer game. She had 7 on opening night in a great performance against New Orleans. Let's see what's in store the rest of this game for Aaliyah Nye. That was part of a 25-point performance for Aaliyah Nye. Her career high is 28 points scored against Mississippi State late last year for the Crimson Tide. And that was a game where she knocked down a career high 8 3-pointers in the ballgame. So we'll see what's coming up for Aaliyah Nye as the Crimson Tide break the huddle. 67-50 is the score. First of 3 games coming up at home this week for Alabama. Playing back-to-back games coming up on Wednesday against Norfolk State at 6 p.m. and then Alcorn State coming up on Thursday. We'll have full radio coverage starting at 5:45 on both Wednesday and Thursday for Alabama women's basketball. Don't forget men's basketball tomorrow, 5 o'clock start time for the 6 p.m. tip-off against McNeese State. Back underway here at Coleman Coliseum. 67-50 is the score, and the basketball with Troy, with Guyon on the left wing, top of the key to Peguero. Peguero working it back to Guyon, a 3-pointer on the way, off the iron, no good. Fight for the rebound, won by Aaliyah Nye. Basketball right back to Troy. The steal by Peguero right to Baez. Her floater up, no good. A rebound out of play off of Alabama. So Nye had a great steal and then threw her pass right to Peguero, the steal for Troy, leading to this opportunity. 20 on the shot clock, a minute 24 remaining in the third quarter. Troy with Guyon, inbounds the basketball to Peguero. Right baseline jumper too strong. Roberson the rebound left side. Her putback no good, and the rebound by Collins in the Crimson paint. Basketball to Alabama. Minute 12 remaining in this third quarter. Alabama ball up 17. Collins to Nye, left wing 3. Off the iron, no good, and the rebound right blocked by Baez. Basketball with Troy. Baez over the timeline left. 1 minute left to go in this third quarter. Baez backs it up to the top of the key. Baez guarded closely by Collins, who will be whistled for a reach-in foul. Diana Collins called for her third foul today. 4th team foul in the Crimson Tide. Clock stopped with 55 seconds left to go in quarter number 3. Harris Lester will check in for the Crimson Tide. placing Diana Collins. And bounce pass into Peguero. Trojans have missed their last 4 shots from the floor. Peguero, right baseline jumper, will end that, making it 67-52. 15-point Alabama lead, tied work with the ball with 42 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Cody, top of the key. To Green on the right wing. Green, idle dribbling, now 10 on the shot clock. Still the ball at the right front court. Green dances inside the arc on the right side of the lane, kicks it back out to Lester, top of the key, Nye, 2 seconds left in the shot clock. Nye heaves it up, left side of the lane, no good on the shot, but with 0.2 of a second remaining on the shot clock, she is fouled. 4th foul on Zay Dyer. It comes with 14.9 seconds left in the third quarter. Aaliyah Nye to the free throw line for the first time today. Already 17 points for Aaliyah. First one on the way, got it. First free throw she has made this year. Had not been in the line in the first 2 games for Alabama. 68-52 Crimson Tide. One more up. And short, and the rebound, Baez, basketball to Troy. 10 seconds left, no more shot clock in this third quarter. Baez, left wing. Baez, the free throw line, backing up, 5 seconds left, gives to Peguero in between the rings. Peguero, free throw line, heaves it up, and that is no good, and that will close out the third quarter of play as the Crimson Tide will maintain a double-digit lead against Troy as we head to the fourth quarter. In Tuscaloosa, our score, Alabama 68, Troy 52. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Crimson Tide 68, the Troy Trojans 52. We are about to begin this fourth quarter from here inside Coleman Coliseum. Make sure you join us coming up for Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR this week. We will have 2 editions of the show, Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday, mostly looking back to the LSU win. Take a look at some of the Yay Alabama Booth Cam highlights. And I know many of you are already loving some of the content we've already put out today from Chris Stewart, being pretty creative, taking us to break. You'll have to see it to believe it, coming up on @UA_CTSN. I want to tell you any more than that. I want you to follow us @UA_CTSN on social media. Watch, and you will love the exclamation point Chris put on last night's broadcast of Alabama's win against LSU. Again, follow us for the latest. We'll have some Courtside Cam highlights coming up, Crimson Drive interview clips. All can be found @UA_CTSN. Carly Weathers ready for the inbounds pass to begin quarter number 4. Alabama leading Troy 68-52 in Tuscaloosa. Inbounds pass thrown in from Weathers to Cody, and we're underway in the final 10 minutes. Weathers on the right wing, passing top of the key to Lester. Handoff back to Weathers. Weathers around the screen, down the left side of the lane. Puts it up, puts it in. Carly Weathers makes it 70-52, Crimson Tide. Now Troy with Wagner to the free throw line. Backs up a little bit in between the rings. Wagner slowing down the pace, now working into the paint and collides with Zay Green. A foul's going to be called. That'll be on Zay. Third foul she's picked up in this game. First foul on the Crimson Tide, 29 seconds into this fourth quarter. Guyon ready for the inbounds pass. Works it in between the rings to Wagner. Now Wagner starting to drive in. Wagner puts it up. That's no good. And a foul is going to be called against the Crimson Tide. So 2 quick fouls on the Tide here in this first minute of quarter number 4. That's on Aaliyah Nye. First foul she has collected in this game. 2 team fouls on the Tide. That was a shooting foul. So to the free throw line will be Shalana Wagner, the senior from Detroit, Michigan. Preseason All-Sun Belt second team selection knocks down the first. 70-53. Crimson Tide up 17. One more for Wagner. Up. Rattles in. 70-54 the score, and now the basketball back to the Crimson Tide. Green over the timeline. Carly Weathers in the corner. Eris Lester, a right side three, no good. Weathers the rebound, left side, backs it up for the Crimson Tide. Weathers on the left baseline, bounce pass to Green, left side of the lane. Green into the paint, double team, puts up the shot, draws the foul. Good work by Zay Green, and just what a difference maker she is, scoring the basketball for the Crimson Tide. Wagner called for her first foul. Lauren McQueen the last couple of years for the Crimson, or last year for the Crimson Tide, did a nice job running the offense, but often had just a tough time finishing around the rim or even getting to the free throw line. But Zay Green's had a knack for scoring so far. She had to be a scorer last year, was the best player on Arkansas Pine Bluff's roster, but her scoring addition as she makes the first free throw, combined with what we're used to seeing from Sarah Ashley Barker, Aaliyah Nye, and then contributions from, of course, Essence Cody in the post, it's making this a pretty well-rounded Crimson Tide team. 24th ranked team in the country. That second one no good. Fight for the rebound. Out of play. Last touch by Alabama. So the basketball to Troy. 9:05 remaining in the fourth quarter. Alabama 71, Troy 54. Trojans with Wagner. Slowly dribbling over the timeline. Bounce pass at the free throw line. And a shot up. Taken away by the Crimson Tide. Niyawo couldn't do anything with it. Weathers kicks it out. Here's Aaliyah Nye, left wing three. Hit the net, did not go in. Cody the rebound, right side layup, no good, but drew the foul. Niyawo called for her fourth foul, and that comes with 8:42 left to go in the fourth quarter. Now we will see Essence Cody the free throw line. Cody today, 2 points, 6 rebounds. First one up and good. 72-54. One more coming up for the sophomore that was a member of the SEC all-freshman team a year ago. Cody puts it up and in. 73-54 Crimson Tide, 19-point lead. Matching the largest Alabama has enjoyed today. Basketball with Troy. Over the timeline, Wagner with 8:35 remaining in the fourth quarter. Troy in the corner, right side, a three-pointer no good by Jackson. Fight for the rebound, won by Essence Cody. Took it right away from Dyer. Green over the timeline right. Pushing tempo to the paint, Zay Green. Left-handed layup, good. Zay Green with 20 points. Alabama 75, Troy 54, 8:15 to go. What a difference maker Zay Green has been. 7 for 11 from the floor in this game. Basketball of the Trojans, top of the key, Wagner. Wagner against Nye, driving in right side. Floats it up and banks in the shot. Wagner with 6 points. Wagner's been a little out of control. 2 of 9 now shooting in this game, but got that one to go. 75-56 the score. Basketball with Zay Green on the left wing. Green starting to drive, kicks it out. Right corner, Lester thought about a three, and in that thought, traveled with the basketball, moved her foot or feet, and the basketball will go to the Troy Trojans. Jackson will inbound the basketball to Wagner. We have 7:40 remaining in the fourth quarter. Alabama up 75-56 against Troy. Wagner dancing to the left wing, now cutting it inside. Floater up off the window, won't go. Rebound in the crimson paint, Aaliyah Nye. Fast break chance for Alabama. Nye driving down the right side of the lane, puts it up. That is short. Cody nearly had the rebound, and then a foul called trying to go for the rebound, and that is likely on Jackson, and that would be her 5th. Let's see. Maybe Dyer. And it is on Dyer. So with that, she does foul out. 7:22 to play. She and Jackson on the floor, both with 4 fouls. Now Dyer fouling out. Essence Cody back to the free throw line. Coach Rigby will finally get Dyer back to the Troy bench. Coming back in will be Fortuna Niyawo, who also has 4 fouls. Here's Essence Cody to the free throw line, native of Valdosta, Georgia. First one up, in. 20-point Crimson Tide lead. One more on the way. Got it. 77-56 Crimson Tide. Basketball back to Troy. Wagner just over the timeline at the top of the key. Picked up on defense by Zay Green. To Baez. Baez, bounce pass. Out to Wagner, then back to Baez, top of the key. Her catcher release 3 is good. Baez has knocked down 4 3-pointers. She is 4 of 4 from three-point land. 77-59 the score, just under 7 minutes to go. Green at the top of the key for Alabama. Backs up a few steps, works the ball to Cody, then to Weathers. Weathers, bounce pass to Nye, handoff to Weathers. Weathers behind the back dribble, starting to drive down the right side. Finds Nye, now top of the key, Green. Thought about a 3, now puts it up. That swirls off the iron, no good, and the rebound of the paint, Baez. Basketball to the Trojans, trailing 77-59. 6.5 minutes to play. Wagner, top of the key, and the right side. Tried to get a Baez, tipped out of play by Diana Collins. No, it just went off of Baez. So, turnover for Troy, gives the basketball to Alabama. 6:26 remaining here in the 4th. Kyle Morris coming back in for Troy, as well as Brianna Peguero, point guard from Houston, Texas, transferred from Mercer to Troy. Inbounds pass to Zay Green. Green over the middle of the timeline. Green hustles down the right side lane. Right side layup is good. Zay Green taking over. 22 points to make it 79-59 Alabama. Jenkins to the top of the key. Peguero. Peguero floating it down low. Morris has it. Step back. A little floater in the paint. No good. Collides with an Alabama defender. And a foul called against Essence Cody. First foul of the game on Essence Cody. Third team foul on the Crimson Tide. That will send Morris to the free throw line. Kyla Morris from the Bronx, New York. Transferred from Union to Troy. Left-handers first. Kicks out no good. 79-59, Alabama leading Troy. 6:04 remaining here in the 4th quarter. One more coming up. Morris puts it on frame and good. 79-60, Alabama up 19 with the ball. 6 minutes and counting left inside Coleman Coliseum. Green at the top of the key. Finding Collins. Collins, top of the key from right side back to Weathers. Weathers driving in left side. Underhand, left side layup good. 81-60. Carly Weathers with a 14-point performance against Troy. 5:44 left. Coach Rigby will call a timeout for the Trojans. That'll be our last timeout of this ball game. 5 minutes, 43 seconds to go. It's Alabama looking strong on this Sunday afternoon, leading the Troy Trojans 81-60. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Points, Carly Weathers. 12 points for Sarah Ashley Barker, who's been on the bench most of this second half, and right now wearing her crimson warm-up shirt. She got taken out of the game earlier in the third quarter, kind of messed with her shoes a little bit. Was a little frustrated. She came off the floor. 12 points, 8 rebounds for Barker in this ballgame, but has remained on the Crimson Tide bench, sitting right next to Alabama freshman Chloe Spreen. About to resume play, but this has been in a lot of ways the Zay Green game. 22 points, 5 of 8 from the floor. Green has looked pretty impressive in a Crimson Tide uniform. She played at Arkansas Pine Bluff last year in the SWAC tournaments, but setting an Alabama high for what she's done so far today. Basketball with Troy as we're underway. Morris leaves the left side layup short. Rebound controlled by Aaliyah Nye. Giving it back to Carly Weathers, and the basketball with Weathers over the timeline left. 5:25 left to go. Weathers has a pass tipped and stolen away by Jackson. Jackson finding Baez, driving, dumps it off to Morris. Morris to the top of the key. Jackson with a three-pointer. Short. Cody and Nye help tap the rebound, right to Carly Weathers. 5:10 remaining in this fourth quarter. Alabama ball up 21. Largest lead of the game for the Crimson Tide. Collins. Hand off to Zay Green. Green, free throw line, driving, little floater in the paint, good. Zay Green with 24 points. 83-60 in favor of the Crimson and White. Basketball with Morris on the left wing to Peguero. Peguero shakes off Collins, left side lane, wild shot no good. Rebound out of play by Nioa, and out basketball will go back to the Crimson Tide. Zay Green, best she had so far this year was 14 points against Alabama A&M. Opened the season in her Crimson Tide debut with 12 points. So she scored in double figures each and every game for the Tide, but really stepping it up today with 24. Nye, top of the key, a three. In and out, no good, and the rebound in the paint by Jackson. Basketball going to the Troy Trojans with 4:24 and counting left here in the fourth quarter. 23-point Alabama advantage. Top of the key, a three-pointer up, no good from Imani Jenkins. Rebound by Guyon. Guyon hands to Jenkins. Left wing long two is no good. Jackson the rebound right side, goes over the shot, and Cody with a foul, knocking down Jackson. Second foul on Essence Cody in this ball game. 4:05 remaining. Alabama 83 and Troy 60. Christabella Zuma will take over for Essence Cody. Also, freshman Chloe Spreen will get her first minutes of the ball game. Reigning Miss Indiana basketball in 2024, the 5'10 freshman from Bedford, Indiana. First one good by Jackson to make it 83-61. Second one rattles home. 83-62. Spreen will come in to replace Zay Green. What a fine performance for the Crimson Tide. 24 points, 2 assists for the Crimson Tide point guard, who is a dynamic scorer. She showed that today. Basketball with Collins. Collins to Spreen on the left wing. Spreen, free throw line, backs up a few steps, surveys the floor. Spreen to bounce pass to Azuma, right elbow. Azuma, 10 on the shot clock, Spreen right side. Spreen, bounce pass to Azuma. Has it, bounce pass finding Nye, Collins, I beg your pardon, puts up a shot, no good on that shot by Diana Collins, but she was fouled in the act of shooting, and 2 shots coming up. Ashley Baez called for her fourth foul with 3:39 left to go. Diana Collins to the free throw line. Sarah Ashley Barker leaving her spot on the bench. Coaching up the freshman Chloe Spreen. First free throw is on the way, and good. Barker said at SEC Media Days in Mountain Brook, Chloe Spreen reminds her a lot of herself when she was a freshman at Georgia. Similar size, same position, free throw up and good to make it 85-62, and really similar style of play. 3.5 minutes remaining. Here is Baez driving, a wild shot, no good in the paint. Contact from the Crimson Tide with a foul on Alabama's Collins. Fourth foul, it comes with still 3:32 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Troy having a tough time getting some offense. No field goals in the last 3 minutes, 33 seconds, missing their last 5 shots from the floor, going just one of its last 7. First free throw, Baez leaves that short. 85-62 the score with still 3:32 left to go. Alabama has led outside of an early basket for Troy the entire way. 35 minutes of this game. Second free throw, no good. Rebound, Collins, basketball to Alabama. Collins starting to drive down the left side, puts up a floater in the paint, left it short, rebound in transition by Jenkins. Jenkins, bounce pass to Niwoa, who puts up a shot, left it short from the left side. Guy on the rebound left wing, now inside the arc from the left baseline, puts up the jumper, that's good. 85-66 for Troy, 64, I beg your pardon, Troy. Basketball going back to the Crimson Tide with just over 3 minutes to play. Collins to Nye on the right wing. Nye. Right baseline spins around, the bounce pass to Collins. Her 3 on the way, right wing, that's no good. Rebound by Azuma, the SEC logo. Azuma looking for help, finds it in Collins. Collins driving left side, layup is up and good. Diana Collins makes it Alabama 87 and Troy 64. Basketball back to the Troy Trojans. Baez, 14 points. Here's Jenkins, 3 up, no good. Rebound, Carly Weathers, right side of the lane. Here comes Alabama. Weathers over the timeline. Weathers, bounce pass to Nye. Nye in the SEC logo. Jumper is a little short. Rebound taken away by Niwoa. And the basketball to Troy. 2:20 left to play. Baez dribbling over the Georgia border at mid-floor. Lost her footing. Nearly went out of play on the right sideline. And Coach Rigby will call a timeout just to save this possession for Troy. 87-64, Alabama leads with 2:11 left to play in this game between the Crimson Tide and the Troy Trojans. Troy looking forward to getting home at some point again. They started their season earlier this week at Buffalo, traveled from Buffalo to Montana State, had some travel difficulties. They were hoping to get back at least have Friday at home, but due to travel difficulties, they had to eventually stay in Montana one extra day, fly to Birmingham, and then make their way here. So they're looking forward to being back at home. They will have Chattanooga next up on the road on, I believe, Thursday. Then coming up Sunday, or possibly next Monday night, they'll be taking on LSU. And then they're going to Alaska. So you're talking upstate New York, Montana, a little bit of time in Alabama, Tennessee with UT Chattanooga, LSU, and then they'll be playing in the Great Alaska Shootout. The first home game for Troy is not until December 4th against Oakwood. Take your games where you can get them. Inbounds pass comes in to Morris. Trojans trailing 87-64. Jenkins, left wing 3, got it. Jenkins knocking down a 3-pointer. It's now 87-67 the score with 1:55 remaining. Collins over the timeline. Collins around the screen by Cunningham. Here's Cody, top of the key with a 3. Off the back iron, no good. Rebound right back to her. Basketball with Cody. Driving down the left side, puts it up, and finally gets to the friendly roll. Cody's got 8 points. It's now 89-67. Crimson Tide in front. Minute 30 left in this game. Morris to Niwoa. On the top of the key. 3-pointer on the way. Short by Jones, and then forced out of play. A foul is going to be called against Crimson Tide. That's on Essence Cody. Third foul on Cody in this game. 5 fouls plus for Alabama, so Troy to the free throw line. Fortuna Niyawo will go to the free throw line. Niyawo's first. Rattles in. So far for her today, 9 points. Perfect 5 of 5 at the free throw line. 89-68. This one's on the way, swirls off the iron. Cody pulls in the board with 2 hands. Basketball to Alabama. Collins running the offense over the timeline left. Diana Collins, free throw line, driving, right side layup, up, yes! Diana Collins scores once again. She's got 9 points, 91-68, Alabama. Final minute of this game, Alabama looking to improve to 3-0 on the season. Troy with the, at the top of the key, lefty with a 3, no good. Fight for the board, and this will go the other way. A foul against Troy, fighting in for the board as well. Yalwo called for what will be her 5th foul, and that'll end her night with 51.8 seconds left. 15 fouls well on Troy. It'll be Essence Cody to the free throw line for Alabama to try and wrap up this game. Again, we have the Regions postgame show next. Christy Curry joining us courtside after what's to be a very impressive 3rd win of the year for the Crimson Tide. 2 on the way for Essence Cody. First one, yes. 92-68 Alabama. Largest lead of the game, 24 points. Next one on the way, got it. 93-68. Crimson Tide by 25. Essence Cody done for the day as she talks to Christy Curry. Final 50 seconds from inside Coleman Coliseum. Alan Morris to Mevery, now out to Jenkins, Left side 3 is good. And Monty Jenkins knocking down her 3rd three-pointer to make it 93-71. Crimson Tide still up by 22, working with the basketball, Collins. 8-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Lester, the freshman, spins around, left baseline, forces up a shot, no good, but draws the foul, and free throws coming up for the native of Duval. Here is Lester. Mavori calling for her first foul. Transfer from Arkansas State. Here is Lester to the free throw line. First one on the way. In and out. That's not scored today. Lester 0 for 2 from the floor and now 0 for 3 from the free throw line. One more. On the way, got it. 94-71 Alabama, 23-point lead with 23 seconds left to play. Morris just over the timeline. Hands off to Jones. Jones right front court to the top of the key free throw line, and a whistle blown and a foul call. Actually, a legal screen set against Troy. Mevery called for her 2nd foul. Basketball to Alabama for the final 12 seconds. Diana Collins will dribble the basketball over Script A in crimson at mid-floor, just past the timeline, and now she will dribble out the rest. Impressive showing all throughout this game for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Alabama improves to 3-0 on the season. Today's final score, 24th ranked Alabama 94 and Troy 71. Good to hear Rammer Jammer from Coleman Coliseum as Alabama picks up this win, 94-71, the final score. We'll step aside and be back with the Regions postgame show next. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from